When I first moved into the dorms my freshman year, I didn't expect much. I just wanted a quiet roommate, decent Wi-Fi, and maybe someone to split late-night takeout with. What I didn't expect was Eli. Tall, artsy, sarcastic. He walked in wearing black jeans, a faded Joy Division tee, and a lopsided smirk like he'd already read me cover to cover. "You must be Nate," he said, tossing his duffel on the bed by the window. "Cool. Let's not make this weird." Spoiler, it got weird. Not bad weird, just charged. We didn't become best friends overnight, but it was fast. We stayed up late, talking, playing indie games, debating movies. He'd sit on his bed sketching between classes, headphones in, feet tapping. I'd pretend not to watch him when he was focused like that. There was something magnetic about him, and I knew, even if I didn't say it. I knew I was falling for him, but I didn't want to ruin what we had. And I definitely didn't want to find out he wasn't into guys. Then came winter break. Everyone left campus. Eli and I stayed behind, no family drama, no hometown obligations. Just us, an empty building, and snow outside the windows. One night, we ordered Chinese food and watched some dumb horror movie in our hoodies and sweatpants. At some point, he threw a pillow at me and said, "You ever gonna admit you have a thing for me?" I blinked. "What?" He laughed. "Dude, you stare. You're not subtle." My heart stopped. I wasn't gonna say anything. I didn't want to screw things up. He tilted his head. "So don't say it. Just do something." I didn't move at first. Then I did. I leaned across the couch and he met me halfway. It was soft, slow, familiar but new, and it felt right. He kissed like he had nothing to prove. Just warmth, intention. After, he pulled back slightly and said, "Took you long enough." We didn't label anything. We didn't make some grand declaration. But from that night on, he'd hold my hand under the blanket during movie nights. He'd leave notes on my pillow. And when spring semester came and everyone returned, he still reached for me when no one was looking. We kept it ours. That year changed everything. Not just because I fell for a guy, but because I realized being seen, truly seen, wasn't something to be scared of. It was the best part of all. The tutor. I wasn't failing exactly, but Intro to Statistics was kicking my ass. I'm more of a write an essay and argue your point kind of student. Numbers? Charts? Formulas? Not my thing. My advisor suggested getting a tutor, and I agreed reluctantly. That's how I met Jordan. He showed up to the library that Friday wearing an oversized hoodie, carrying a stack of notebooks, and holding an iced coffee like it was his entire personality. "You must be Casey," he said. "You look like someone who hates math. Is it that obvious?" He smiled. "Don't worry. I've dragged worse people through this class." I thought he'd be boring. Serious. The kind of guy who lives for calculus and corrects your grammar on texts. But Jordan was different. He was funny, patient, kinda dorky in the best way. And he explained things like he actually cared if I got it. Not just because he was paid to. We started meeting twice a week. Then 3 times. Then he started staying longer after sessions and we'd talk about music, our majors, dating, horror stories. I learned he loved bad sci-fi movies and played piano when no one was around. And little by little, I realized I looked forward to seeing him way more than I looked forward to passing stats. One night, I offered to grab food after our session. We walked off campus, got tacos, and ended up sitting under the awning of a closed bookstore while it rained. Jordan looked at me and said, "You know, for someone who claims to suck at math, you're pretty good at reading people." I raised an eyebrow. "Why's that?" "Because I think you already know I like you." My heart did that weird fluttering thing. I tried to act chill. Failed. Yeah, I kinda hoped that." He laughed. "Well, do we make this awkward? Or do we do something about it?" I didn't think. I just leaned in. The kiss was shy, quick, but it felt like everything. After that, tutoring turned into something more. He still helped me study, but sometimes we didn't even open the books. Sometimes we just lay on the library floor after hours, whispering about everything and nothing, listening to music through one pair of earbuds. We weren't a couple. Not officially. But when he reached for my hand walking across campus, I didn't let go. And when I finally passed the stats final, he tackled me on the quad in front of everyone, laughing and shouting like we'd won the lottery. "See?" he said. "Told you math isn't so bad." "Only because of you," I said. And I meant it. Laundry room at 2 a.m. College can be loud, music, dorm parties, shouting in the halls. But some nights are quiet, almost too quiet, like the whole campus is holding its breath. That's when I met Ben. It was a Tuesday night, technically Wednesday morning. 2:04 a.m., according to the flickering clock in the laundry room. I'd completely forgotten my clothes in the dryer earlier and snuck down hoping no one would notice. But someone was already there, sitting on the floor, earbuds in, reading a dog-eared copy of The Bell Jar. He looked up and smiled. "Hey," I nodded awkwardly. "Sorry. I didn't think anyone would be down here this late." "No worries," he said, tugging out one earbud. "I like the quiet." I did too. That night we didn't say much. Just sat in parallel silence, the soft rumble of dryers filling the space between us. But the next night he was there again. So was I. We started talking. Just little things, classes, bad professors, favorite cereals, why the vending machine never worked. I learned his name was Ben. English major. Quiet. Kind of awkward, but in a sweet way. He always wore this soft gray hoodie and smelled like fresh laundry and peppermint gum. The laundry room became our place. Not officially, but by week 3 we both knew. If it was 2 a.m. we'd be there. One night, I asked, "Why are you always up this late?" He shrugged. "Can't sleep. Too much on my mind." "Like what?" He hesitated. "Stuff. Family. Myself." I didn't push. Instead, I said, "You ever feel like you're pretending to be someone all day, and the only time you can be real is when nobody's around?" He looked at me for a long time, then nodded. "Yeah," he whispered. "Exactly that." That night he sat closer. Our knees touched. Neither of us moved away. And when I looked over, he was already looking at me. "You're not pretending now, are you?" I asked. He shook his head slowly. "No." I reached for his hand. He let me. We sat there like that for a long time, just holding hands in the hum of machines and shadows, like the rest of the world didn't exist. Eventually, he leaned his head on my shoulder. We didn't kiss. Not yet. But when we finally did, a few nights later, when he walked me back to my room and paused in the hallway, it was quiet, soft, and warm like everything else between us. He smiled after. "Took you long enough." "Hey," I said, grinning. "Some things are worth waiting for."